Puppy Love Christmas Kiss. Danielle ruffled Sparky's head on the way out the door. Be a good boy. I'll be home for lunch. She stopped on the front porch of her row house, wrapping her scarf tighter against the chill, missing the Southern California sun, as she looked towards the bus stop at the end of the block. Good, she still had time. All the regulars she saw every Wednesday morning were waiting in small little huddles around the bus sign. The mother and her daughter. The mother, tired and cranky every day. The daughter, silent and dreamy, twirling in little circles as she stared at the gray sky. The good-looking guy in the business suit who always had his headphones on and his nose buried in his tablet. Mildred from next door, who was always trying to get Danielle to sit down next to the guy in the suit, and making comments about how in her day she would have been all over a man who looked like that. Never actually in front of him, thankfully. That would be mortifying. She walked down the steps, carefully navigating the small patches of ice and thinking about everything she had to do today. First was her grad seminar, which was likely to make her want to scream from boredom. And then she had to talk to her advisor about her paper. He'd already rejected 2 ideas. If he rejected this one, she didn't know what she was going to do. She was running out of time and patience. The little girl stopped her twirling and stared across the street. "Jasmine!" she called, stepping towards the curb. Her mother grabbed her arm and yanked her back just as a car whizzed by. Across the 4 lanes of traffic, Danielle saw a black and white dog, just a puppy really, even though it was probably 50 pounds, its tail wagging as it stared at the girl. Her heart clenched as the girl struggled to break free from her mother, and the dog edged towards the street. She wanted to shout, to stop the dog, to tell someone to grab it. But it was too late. It darted into traffic, its attention focused on the little girl. Danielle held her breath as the first car narrowly missed it, brakes screeching. The next car flew by with an inch to spare, horn blaring. The dog froze, whining in distress. A car swerved to avoid it, but not enough. The car clipped the dog's back legs and then hit a patch of black ice, which sent it spinning into the opposite lane of traffic. Cars collided and spun on the ice. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Finally, they spun to a stop, smoking and broken. Everything was silent for a long moment before people started running towards the cars, calling out, asking if anyone was hurt. Danielle ran towards the dog as it limped its way across the street, dragging its back leg before collapsing. She fell to her knees at its side. There was a deep cut on its leg, and who knew what other injuries. Had it broken something? Was it bleeding internally? She didn't know, and didn't know how to find out. All she knew was the dog was whining and trying to get up and go to the little girl who was wailing and pulling against her mother's grip. Her mother held on tight, dragging her bodily onto the bus that had just pulled up. A moment later, the bus drove by, the little girl framed in the window, her hands pressed to the glass, tears running down her face, mouthing the dog's name. The dog tried to stand again, but Danielle held it down. "It's okay, Jasmine, it's okay." Its ears perked at the sound of its name, and it licked her hand. Danielle wanted to cry for the little girl and the dog, but she forced herself to focus on its injuries. She didn't know what to do. She wasn't trained in first aid. Her vet was only a couple blocks away, but no way could she carry the dog there, not as injured and upset as it was. She wondered if paramedics would help, or maybe a cop, or a fireman, someone, because she certainly didn't know what to do. She looked around desperate for help and saw the man in the suit, the attractive one from the bus, coming towards her. "Need some help?" He knelt on the concrete next to her, not caring in the least that he'd just put his knee in a puddle of blood. "Yes, please."